I hope you have a pushka ready, and let's throw in a coin into the pushka, and this will be helpful in our prayers for the imminent redemption. We're building the sukkah, but what we really want is building the Beis Hamikdash. In fact, especially since the Beis Hamikdash is called the fallen sukkah. So let's ask God, please pick it up. Talking about the building of the sukkah, the mitzvah of the sukkah, we find a paradox. The definition of a sukkah is called dirat aray, a temporary dwelling. At the same time, the Torah says you should dwell in the sukkah for 7 days. So is it a temporary place to live, to be, or is it a permanent dwelling? Because temporary and dwelling, I think, is an oxymoron. And in fact, there are different contradictory halachas, laws, about the building of the structure of the sukkah. Example, if the branches of the sukkah, the roof covering, are piled on so thick that the rain cannot penetrate, halachically the sukkah is not kosher, because it's a house. It's not a hut. On the other hand, if it's raining in the sukkah, you're not obligated to stay in and eat in the sukkah. Why? Because one doesn't live in a room where it's raining. In other words, what this seems to indicate is as following: that the Torah tells us that we should essentially take a transient structure and make it our permanent home. At the same time, God wants us to look at a permanent home and understand that it is essentially just a transient structure. Now, I want to explain this by sharing with you two little stories. There was a young yeshiva student who was about to undertake a trip, and he wrote to the Rebbe for a blessing. And the Rebbe, in his reply, urged him to utilize every opportunity to accomplish something positive in every place he would stop during his trip. And the Rebbe used the Mishkan, the temporary portable sanctuary, which the Jewish people traveled with it while in the desert. And he said, at every encampment, short or long, and sometimes they were less than 24 hours, Moshe Rabbeinu made sure that the whole Mishkan should be put together, set up, although it took tremendous effort to put it together. It took actually 8,000 people to assemble it, even if it would only be for one night. And the Rebbe explains the reason for that is because there is no such a thing that we are just passing through a place. If we're there, it means that we have something to accomplish. And so it is also with every moment. Every moment in life has permanence by virtue of the fact that divine providence has guided us to this particular point in time and space for a specific purpose. So that's the permanency in a place that we just transient. But then look at the other story. There was a visitor who once came to the Mezritcher Maggid, Reb Dov Ber of Mezritch, disciple of the Baal Shem Tov, the leader of the Chassidic community after the passing of the Baal Shem Tov. And he lived in extreme poverty. We're talking about poverty. There was not even furniture. There was one piece of block of wood, which was a chair, and a larger, bigger block of wood, 4 pieces together, which was a table. That was essentially the furniture in the house. This chassid was aghast. How can his Rebbe live in such poverty? And he offered the Rebbe. He wants to put something together. It should be decent. We're not talking about luxury. No, the Rebbe doesn't want luxury. But something just livable. The Rebbe refused. When he insisted, the Rebbe asked him, tell me, where are you staying? I'm staying in an inn. Are you comfortable? He says, comfortable. I have what I need. I have a bed, I have a chair, there's a table, I have a place where to put on my shmatis, and I'm only here temporary. At home, I have everything that I need, Baruch Hashem. And the Rebbe responded to him, you're 100% right. At home, I want my full luxury. But where is home? Spirituality. The physical world, that's just transient. In other words, to appreciate that this world is a transient world. So from one side, every transient moment we have to add into permanency. And this which seems to be permanent, let us realize it is transient. And what is really permanent? The sukkah which is called the Beis HaMikdash.